Germany shocked the world with what it was secretly building. While most countries are still arguing about what the future will look like, Germany has already started building it, quietly but seriously. They set up systems to prevent people from freezing and dying on the streets. They removed traffic and transporting medical samples so that no lives would be wasted due to delays. They made the roads like machines, absorbing floods, providing electricity to trucks, and charging vehicles while they're running. Houses are now printed, not built. Robots are now teaching students, working in factories, and even entering homes. Trains are not just getting faster, they're balancing, hanging, and almost flying through cities in ways that once seemed impossible. This isn't just an idea on paper. It's not just coming soon. It's happening right now. And let's start with a unique example. But before we start that, if you're new to our channel, please don't forget to subscribe so you'll always be updated with videos like this. In many countries, being homeless becomes a death sentence during winter. Even in the world's richest countries, some people sleep on sidewalks and in train stations. And every year, some freeze to death while others just pass by and don't care. Germany noticed this and responded differently. In one city, emergency sleeping pods were set up. There's just one simple rule. When the light is green, it's open. Go in, close the door, and sleep. No keys, reservations, questions, or paperwork. Inside is a bed and air quality sensors. No cameras or guards, just warmth and security on cold nights. When someone leaves, the next day they visit the city's support team to check on them and help them find permanent housing. These pods are not homes, they are safety. And its message is clear: you matter, even if you have nothing and even if you're cold. And that is true power. But these things are just the beginning. And Germany really didn't stop at just a warm bed. They asked a more practical question. What about people who urgently need medical help? Imagine you're ill and the doctor draws blood. It often gets stuck in traffic on the way to the lab, sometimes causing waits of an hour or more. As time passes, the sample deteriorates, the accuracy of the results decreases, and there's less time for proper treatment. For Germany, this delay is unacceptable. In Berlin, a startup introduced LabFly, a medical delivery drone specifically designed to transport blood and laboratory samples from hospitals to the lab. This isn't just any delivery drone. It's medical-grade technology built for speed and reliability. It automatically flies on a fixed route and completes each trip in exactly 12 minutes. No traffic and no delays. It can transport 7 liters of medical supplies and fly 25 kilometers. Over cities, even with sensitive, dangerous materials, they made no safety compromises. It has multiple motors, so even if one fails, it can still keep flying. And in case of emergency, it has a built-in parachute for a safe landing. This isn't about showing off technology. It's about solving real problems where every minute can mean a life. That's what German engineering is. Quiet, systematic, and saving real lives. Drones are clearly saving many lives. But Germany has another smart move that saves you money. You enter the supermarket with an empty bottle, drop it into a machine, it scans and counts them, and then it gives you money. It may not be much, 8 to 25 cents per bottle, but if you do this every day, you'll have money in your pocket. In Germany, trash is turned into money. And while other countries just throw away bottles, Germans actually get paid to recycle. The recycling rate hit 95%, not due to force or rewards, but because there was something in return. No plastic dumps harming the environment, no guilt trips, just economic incentives. Germany didn't save the planet with speeches, they did it with coins. But Germany really isn't just thinking about innovation and money. And when it comes to housing, the story is really different. They looked at housing and said, what if we skip the hammer and nails? And that's where they built a monster machine. A 3D printer as big as a building. It sprays cement, layer by layer and hour by hour. It builds the walls on its own. No workers, no mistakes, and really no mess at the construction site. In Beckham, Germany, the first house was 3D printed. 160 square meters, 2 floors. Elegant curves, completed in 8 months. That's 30% faster than normal construction. The costs are 10% cheaper, and it produces 30% less pollution. The printer doesn't get tired, doesn't make mistakes, and it just prints. In Germany, houses are no longer just built, they're printed. This proves that German engineers are not just smart. And above all, this intelligence is not limited to just one field. Let's talk about the roads in Germany, and even here, they're already way ahead. They have roads without speed limits, unlike other countries with strict rules. But what about the other roads in Germany? Now the conversation gets wild. Germany built roads that literally absorb water, and these aren't ordinary roads. It has a special porous asphalt that absorbs rain instead of flooding the streets. The water goes down, gets filtered through layers, and replenishes the groundwater. The entire road works like a sponge. While cities around the world are drowning in floods that cause billions of dollars in damage, Germany's roads are actually helping. They can absorb up to 4 tons of water per minute. During heavy rains, this is the difference between a community that gets flooded and a community that stays dry. Hardly anyone is discussing this. And if you're wondering why, it's because it proves that a small country is solving problems that seem impossible for others. Your government says that climate change is too big to stop. But the roads of Germany say, we're stopping it, one street at a time. They have 66,000 kilometers of special rainwater drainage pipeline. And just to give you an idea, you could wrap it around the whole world more than once. But this is just the beginning. Germany looked at the pollution from trucks and asked, what if trucks could charge while driving? And that's where they created the e-highway. Picture power lines above the highway using technology like that in trains. Some trucks have a roof-mounted pantograph. They charge straight ahead as they move under the lines. No stops or charging breaks, just continuous electric power while driving. Siemens installed this on the A5 Autobahn. This is at the airport in Darmstadt. There, trucks run at about 90 kilometers per hour while simultaneously drawing electricity. This electric road system is 77% efficient, higher than battery trucks at 62%, and much higher than hydrogen trucks at only 29%. Germany aims to install this system on 4,000 kilometers of motorways by 2030. That equals 60% of the country's truck traffic. And this will have a big impact, as it will reduce pollution from the 2.2 million trucks that currently consume around 17 billion liters of diesel each year. Germany has not only built roads that absorb water, they built roads that provide electricity to trucks. And the road itself became the solution. And now, hold on, because it doesn't end here. Germany is now making roads that charge your car while you're driving, not using overhead lines, not charging stations, and not even at home. This is wireless charging technology embedded right in the road. There are magnetic coils hidden under the asphalt. When an electric car passes over it, electricity is transferred wirelessly to the battery. No cables, no plugs, and no stopping. Because of this, electric cars no longer need to have large and expensive batteries. The smaller the battery, the lighter the vehicle, and the lower the cost. And this means that an ordinary family car can now travel across Europe without any charging stops. While other countries are still studying, debating, and making reports, Germany is already doing it. Germany considers more than just cars when designing roads. They asked a simple question: what about the pedestrians? Nowadays, a lot of people cross the street while staring at their cell phones, so Germany changed the ground itself. At some crossings, the texture and color of the sidewalk changed. Red means stop and green means go. You can sense it underfoot and notice it instantly, even while looking at your cell phone. In Augsburg, the sidewalk acts as the traffic light. Germany is clearly making life easier, but what about education? At Wilhelms High School in Delme, North Germany, a humanoid robot became Europe's first robot teacher. And it actually teaches. Meet Capta, an AI robot that speaks 5 languages. It features realistic facial expressions, eyes that track your movements, and an adjustable personality based on the subject. It thinks, engages, and it doesn't replace teachers. In fact, they help it. This AI robot really never gets tired, never gets angry, and it's always fair, calm, and has endless patience. It can moderate debates without bias, analyzing arguments based on logic. Teachers focus on emotional connection and mentorship, while CAPTA manages lectures and repetitive explanations. Germany was not afraid of robots in the classroom, and they invited the future into their schools, while other countries are still debating about AI and education. German students are already learning with intelligent machines that collaborate with humans. This proves that education can evolve without losing its soul. And these things are just the beginning. Germany is building something even bigger. In the city of Metzingen, a company called Neura Robotic developed 4NE1, a 170-cylinder humanoid designed to be safe for human coworkers. It recognizes voices, understands language, and responds in a surprisingly natural way. What truly sets it apart is its awareness of its surroundings. Using touchless safety technology that's still pending patent, it can sense the presence of people, even if they're partially covered. It also has force-torque sensors in every joint, so it can feel every object it touches. That means it won't crush a glass and it won't drop a box. It can iron clothes, prepare food, and handle heavy and repetitive tasks, jobs that are boring and dangerous. Germany partnered with NVIDIA to accelerate humanoid robot development, aiming to make them both smarter and safer. This isn't science fiction. Germany is developing this real technology now. And while someday these robots might enter homes, there are specialized needs in factories. And this is where Agalwan comes in. Taller, stronger, and specifically made for the factory floor. It is 174 cm tall, weighs 69 kg, lifts up to 20 kg, and walks like a human at 7.2 km/h. But its real purpose isn't strength, it's trust. Watching Agalwan at work, you'll quickly see the difference. Its eyes light up and blink naturally, never appearing cold or mechanical. There are proximity sensors for human safety, and there's a display on its chest that shows what it's doing in real time. It also features a 5-fingered hand with fingertip tactile sensors. It senses everything it holds, from picking up screws and using power tools to operating touchscreens and performing delicate, precise tasks. And if you think Germany stopped there, you're mistaken. They built another robot with a different purpose, but with the same level of intelligence. Meet M4E, an intelligent personal assistant designed for everyday life. It can unload the dishwasher precisely, vacuum the floor on its own, and help keep rooms tidy. It also supports health monitoring, such as checking blood sugar, reminding you to take your medicine, and delivering items around the house. M4E is a special identification designed to help the elderly and anyone with limited mobility. Every task is learned, every movement is carefully calculated, and every decision is made independently and safely. Germany is not only making robots for factories. They are creating robots for homes, families, and daily life. If a robot lacks training, Germany also has a solution. This is NeuroGym, the world's first physical AI robot training center. The idea is simple. Robots that are only trained in simulation don't fully understand the real world. They don't know how heavy a plate is, how slippery the floor is, or how people actually move. That's why Neura created a place where robots learn by doing tasks. Inside the NeuroGym, robots train together, lifting objects, organizing items, assembling parts, and repeating the tasks until they get better. Some train in simulation, others in the real world, and all the data is sent back to a shared system. When a robot masters a task, it instantly shares that knowledge with the others. Germany isn't just making smarter robots. They built a gym where robots teach each other. And if that sounds strange, just wait for what's next. Germany has built something that engineers around the world are still trying to understand. A self-driving vehicle that runs on just one rail. Not 2 rails, not 4 wheels, just one. And it never tips over. This is the monocab owl, an autonomous vehicle balanced on a narrow and elevated rail. It's packed with cameras, radar, and sensors that continuously monitor its surroundings. It makes hundreds of decisions every second to stay stable and avoid danger. Now imagine that you live in a small village far from the city with limited access to hospitals, schools, and jobs. Building a road or railway takes years and costs billions. Monocab changed that. You only need one rail and suddenly remote areas become connected to cities, quickly, safely, and affordably. Students can reach good schools, patients can get immediate medical treatment, and workers can commute without leaving their community. Monocab doesn't replace highways, it offers a smarter alternative, where traditional infrastructure is not practical. While others debate future transportation, Germany is already testing once impossible ideas. There's another unique train in Germany, but it doesn't run on the ground. It hangs from above, suspended from a steel rail over the city of Buhu Portal, and it's called the Schwebebahn. The wheels are above and the cabin floats below. The passengers travel about 12 meters above the river, gliding over the roads and through the center of the city. These are very stable, making derailment nearly impossible, and they remain fully operational. They carry about 80,000 passengers every day. While large parts of the world are still improving traditional rails, Germany is already experimenting with trains that seem to float in the air. The design is intentional because Warportal's geography makes normal rails nearly impossible to use. The cities are trapped between steep hills and a frequently flooding river. If they built a regular rail, they would have had to dig through mountains, build extremely expensive bridges, buy very expensive land, and spend decades on construction. Resources the city doesn't have. So the engineer Silgan Langen proposed another solution, and that was to build upwards instead of outwards. By suspending the rail above the river, the city avoided flooding, land purchases, and massive earthwork, a single idea that solved many problems. The Schwebebahn opened in 1901 and changed the city forever. Germany adapted to nature instead of fighting it. It proves that infrastructure can work even in impossible geography when the engineering is smart. But Germany is doing something even bigger, right under one of the most important rivers in Europe. The Elbe River stands in the way of Swedlink, a 700-kilometer power cable that will bring wind energy from the windy north to the factories and cities in the south. Here's the problem. Germany has many wind farms in the north, but the electricity generated there can't be used right away. Meanwhile, factories in the south need energy, but electricity is simply being wasted here. The solution is Swedlink, a giant cable that can carry 4 gigawatts of electricity, enough for 10 million households. But there was really an obstacle, and that was the Elbe River. The cable couldn't be laid over it, so what did Germany do? They drilled right under the river. This is Elbex, a 5.2-kilometer tunnel being bored by a 190-meter drilling machine. When this is finished in 2028, Germany's wind power will be able to flow from the north to the south. Right now, Germany isn't just talking about clean energy. They're drilling under rivers to make this happen. They didn't wait for permission, they didn't wait for perfect technology, they just did it. Why does a small European country seem to innovate faster than a whole continent? There are 83 million people in Germany, 330 million in America, and 1.4 billion in China. But Germany continues to lead, and if you're asking why, what are they doing differently? And if Germany can build roads that wirelessly recharge cars, why can't your country do it? But is that really the problem? Germany isn't even the richest. They're not the largest either. Is it about technology? Technology is now available all over the world. So if that's the case, what's missing? Maybe it's the mindset, maybe it's the culture, maybe it's refusing to accept the word impossible. Share your opinion in the comments section below, and let's see each other again in our next video.